free agency frenzy. So free agency period started at Tuesday at 4 o'clock, which now that I think about it is weird. So the technical start of the new NFL year is at 4 o'clock on last Tuesday. Like, why pick such a weird time?
Eastern time?
Yeah, Eastern time.
Okay.
That's just weird. Why not pick 12 p.m. so middle of the afternoon? That makes sense. Or 12 a.m. The start of the next day. Why 4 p.m.?
Well, in California, it's what 1
1.
12 p.m. Yeah.
Can't 1. Still makes no sense.
It's after lunch. It's right after lunch, so you don't have to miss your lunch
before
you
free agency
go out
starts.
and free agency starts. Yeah. So you can do free agency on a full stomach. We don't want anyone getting fatigued here.
It's true.
You gotta have your energy.
But what if you're on the East Coast and it's 4? I guess you have to have a mid-afternoon snack before you go.
You have your tea time.
Tea time.
I guess. I mean, we're
not
thinking about
London.
expanding to London. What time is it in London?
I think it's 6-hour difference, so it's 10 o'clock there.
Yeah, it sucks for them, but they don't have a team yet, so.
I hope they never
we'll talk about that some other time.
That's a conversation for another time. So I'm just going to run down where players landed. So let's start it off with the biggest of them all, and that's Ndamukong Suh. He signed a 6-year, $114 million contract with $60 million guaranteed with the Dolphins. He's taking his talents to South Beach. Now, I warn you, Dolphins, I've seen a deal like this before with a really talented, yet semi-problematic character issues of a defensive lineman. It's giving him $100 million, and they actually, I think $60 million was the guaranteed, and that was when the Redskins signed Albert Haynesworth. So I warn you, do not expect all that much out of Ndamukong Suh. Now, I could be totally wrong. I could be way off base. He could get down to South Beach and not party and say, I just want to focus on being one of the greatest defensive players of all time, which, if he really focuses, he can be. Yeah.
Honestly, I think it'll be a good move. I think he is going to step his game up.
And you know who's going to play really well with him there is Jelani Jenkins. That guy's a beast linebacker anyway. And having Ndamukong Suh in front of him, eating up some of those blockers, he's going to do really well. So
but
we'll
see how it will go. Sometimes a change of environment, showing that you can be sent away, calms a guy down, changes things up, and good time to start fresh and to make sure everything's under wraps this time.
Let's hope for the best. Hope for the best. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Next player we're going to be talking about is Darrelle Revis. He has gone home after the Pats waived him because they didn't want to pay him $20 million this year. He went and signed a 5-year, $70 million contract with the Jets, returning there. He played there from, I believe, 2007 to 2012. They were the team that drafted him. Now, $39 million of that is guaranteed, and he will be joined by the other former cornerback that actually started alongside him for a couple of years, and that's Cromartie. So Patrick Cromartie, yeah, that's pretty interesting. They're just reuniting, I guess. They're like, hey, let's go back to where we were, but they suck. Why are we doing this? Okay, let's just go. So now they are revamping their offense. They did make a trade for Brandon Marshall, so that's a good wide receiver out there. But the next player is Julius Thomas, the talented tight end from the Denver Broncos. He is moving down to Jacksonville, signing with the Jags for 5 years, $45 million.
That can't be good for
that guaranteed. Yeah, I can't imagine that'll work out great for him just because they're not very good. Now, they have been pretty active in this free agency period. But I don't know. They haven't worked out that quarterback situation. And a receiver like that, a tight end at least, a receiving tight end, is only as good as the quarterback can get it to him. So
they don't really even get a lot of the money and attention from their owners, surprisingly. Like last I heard, he doesn't really care that much about the team. And people in that area, like unless you're in Jacksonville, the team is not like that big a deal. I mean, Florida already has 3 other teams, or 2 other teams. Sorry, they have 3 teams total, and they're a big college football state. around
and that's why if they
Jacksonville.
were smart, even though I don't think Tim Tebow is a great NFL quarterback, just go ahead and sign Tim Tebow to a contract because if nothing else, he'll bring all those Florida people to your games. You won't have those ugly blackouts that you guys seem to have a couple of every year, and you might be doing better. But let's keep on moving. And Mike Iupati, I believe I pronounced that correct, the amazing guard signed with the Cardinals. He just jumped from the 49ers over to the Cardinals, so he's going to see his old team twice a year. Now, details on that deal have not been revealed as of yet, so that's kind of interesting. Then we have, I'm going to take it out of rumors. When I wrote this was rumors, but it is DeMarco Murray, as you kind of heard from when I was talking about Philadelphia. They signed DeMarco Murray for a 5-year, $40 million deal with $20 million of that guaranteed, and it looks like he will be joined by Ryan Matthews. They're not going to jilt Ryan Matthews at the altar by just leaving him hanging with that 3-year deal. So he's going to be joining them, which is interesting. How are they going to find space for Murray, Sproles, and Matthews? That makes
some sacrifices. There's going to be some sacrifices elsewhere.
Probably stay away from those guys in fantasy football. Yeah, their stock has plummeted. Then we have Byron Maxwell, the talented cornerback. He's going over to the Eagles as well, signing a 6-year, $60 million with $25 million of that guaranteed. He was one of the members of the Legion of Boom. He hurt himself in the Super Bowl too. I can't remember exactly what his injury was, but he is going to be heading over there. So Philadelphia has probably been the most active in the free agency period so far. Now, the last time they did this, 3-4 years ago, didn't work out so well for him. So we'll see how it works out this time. But then you have Torrey Smith, the fast wide receiver from Baltimore, heading over to fill a spot when the 49ers cut Michael Crabtree, I believe. And so they're hoping he'll come step in there, be the legit number one receiver that they've always hoped he could be for them. But I don't know if it'll work out too well. I don't think he's had over 66 catches in a season his entire career. He is more of a deep threat, but if you need that every down receiver, still don't think they have it. So we'll see how that works out. Then you have Pernell McPhee, the pass rusher from the Ravens, signing with the Bears for 5 years and $40 million. He's going to kind of take over the spot that Papai vacated when he signed with the Redskins earlier this week. Then you have Jeremy Maclin. This was kind of a big surprise, leaving the Eagles, who seem to be attracting everybody, and signing with his old head coach, Andy Reid, in Kansas City. Now, if you're a fantasy owner, whereas he was a good option if he stayed with the Eagles, he is now a horrible option. Look for a bunch of 5 receptions, 48 yards, and no touchdown stat sheets, similar to what Dwayne Bowe got all of the past couple of years. The Andy Reid scheme really is all about spreading the ball around. And Alex Smith cannot get the ball downfield, so unless there's some sort of really weird quarterback change, fantasy-wise, I'd stay away from him. Then we have Andre Johnson, moving division to a division rival, leaving the Houston Texans as their leading wide receiver and joining the Colts, who recently released Reggie Wayne. So he'll be joining up with the great young quarterback in Andrew Luck, and Frank Gore, who again was going to sign with the Eagles and then decided he didn't want to, is now signing with the Colts. So yeah. So the Colts are up in their game. They got rid of Trent Richardson, which probably going to be a good move, and added an older guy, 32-year-old running back. That's old for a running back, but he has had 1,000 yards every season that he's played all 16 games. So we'll see how it all works out. But that was our free agency frenzy report. Now, there's a lot of other moves that happened that I didn't quite talk about because there's a bazillion players that move left, right, and sideways during this time. But if there's one deal that you think will impact a team the most, hit me up. Let me know what you think. Is it the Ndamukong Suh being signed by the Dolphins? Is it, I don't know, Julius Thomas going to the Jags? Are they finally going to have that offense that they've always wanted? No, it's not going to be. Sorry. Is it DeMarco Murray signing with the Eagles? I don't know. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. Comments down below. Of course, at Where's My Face on Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook. Always good ways getting a hold of us.